Greetings, my Chinas, and welcome. Today we have a special guest on this channel, Hexagon Vegan, aka Hexagonal Homie. Okay.
Sup, cunts?
He even has the t-shirt. Come closer to the camera so they can see your sexy face.
Wait, the t-shirt's not...
Yeah, I'm saying you have the t-shirt,
okay.
but you don't have the t-shirt on right now. Okay. So this man, Hexagonal Homie, is significant enough for this video because he has undergone a transformation in the last year. He has been through a truly harrowing experience.
Almost turned into a lizard, bro. Was that transforming?
Exactly.
It was pretty rough.
A reptilian. Okay? So, he's going to tell us his story, and he's also going to tell us that you've got no idea what he's been through unless you've actually experienced it.
No fucking idea,
Take it
bro.
away, take it away.
You don't know shit that I've been through. All this pain ain't that the truth. So much tears that I done cried. Feeling like I ain't got shit to lose.
It was summer. At the time I had like two bikes. I had my road bike and mountain bike, which I gave to my friend. He lives like... So I live on an island, it's called Malta. It's like 40k wide. It's pretty small. And yeah, I gave him my other bike to take to his house. And then one morning on a summer's day, he came to mine with the bike, and then we left to go to this scenic area in Malta, which I love a lot. It's called Bahria. It's like the most scenic place over there. And yeah, it was a really hot day. I was drinking lots of water and shit, so I was kind of okay, but he was like with his... this close?
That's good.
Okay, so he was like with his jacket and shit. He was with his jacket on during a summer's day and had coffee as well. So which is kind of
this man was cooking, eh?
He was cooking some shit, I don't know.
He was cooking inside.
Yeah, it was, yeah, he had it much worse than me. I'll explain why later on. So we cycled to this place. I didn't bring my lock, because in Malta I don't really trust the people. They steal shit and stuff.
It's dodgy as.
Dodgy as fuck.
Yeah.
Like...
people carry their pistols everywhere they go.
Okay, not the pistol part. Yeah, so we came there, took my lock. Actually, didn't take my lock, so we had to carry our bikes down the rubble path to put it like underneath some rock, so if somebody even tried to steal it, he wouldn't be able to because he'd be a shit cunt, like fat as fuck. So yeah, then we left our bikes there. We kept on going for like 1 hour in the sun. We didn't have food with us, just like apple juice. So when we came to our spot, we like put our shit to the side next to this big ass boulder rock. Then we went to the edge, and we saw the sea. Like we were like ready to jump and shit, and he was also ready to jump, and we were playing like rock paper scissors to see who jumps first, and we ended up just jumping at the same time because like fuck it. And then after we were inside the water for like, let's say 5 to 10 minutes, like the first wave hit us and we didn't know like what was gonna happen. We thought it was a joke. We're like come on, like we can't fucking get up, like this is a joke or something. So we tried harder and harder, but no matter how hard we tried to like go next to these, there was like a flight of steps going in. It was like kind of like a cliff and like a flight of steps carved into the rock, going down into the sea. And we didn't manage to get up. After like 10 minutes, it got really serious. And like massive waves came and they were pulling us, like no matter how hard we tried to swim towards the stairs to come back up, we just couldn't. And that place is like really secluded, so there's like nobody there, no living soul over there. And it was in open sea, so there was nothing covering us. It was just like from the place that we jumped, it was all cliffside. So we had no choice but to go with underneath the current.
Yeah.
And underneath, I mean, we tried to hang on to the rock as much as we could, but you know, like when you get out of the water, like all your weight gets shifted back on you, since because of the water. And we also got drowned multiple times because the closer you get to the rock, when the wave hits the rock, it like bounces back up at you, and like the foam kind of like drowns you. Like you try to be above the wave, but it's like no use. It's all covering you and shit. Then we I don't know, it got
So
really...
it's fucking scary, dude.
It's fucking scary, bro. And then, what happened, man? I was being like pulled out by the current because my friend's a better swimmer than me in a sense. He's always been a better swimmer. And yeah, I was being pulled out by the current and I was like trying my fucking hardest. Like, I was so scared that I started like doggy paddling.
Yeah.
It was really bad. And then he kept on shouting like, come back, and I was like, fuck. It was fucking scary. And kept on swimming back to the shore. And then we tried to get up from another place and we couldn't. Then we tried to get up from this place that kind of was like a cliffside to go up, like a little crack in the wall.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it. Like, as soon as we touched the rock, or even to be able to get to the rock, we need to surpass the current, which was way too strong, so we couldn't do that. And the moment we grab the rock, it's either the waves pushes us into the rock and we get like fucking bashed and cut and bruised, which we were, or we get like submerged in the water and drown a bit more. Then we tried, we kept on like losing options and shit, so
you really tried everything to get out.
Fucking everything, man.
Yeah.
I think we swam for like a good hour in the sea. And
that's crazy.
That was fucking long, man.
Wow.
Especially with the current like pulling you out and bashing you against the rocks and shit. And then we kept on like losing options. We're like, okay, like fuck it, bro. Like, there's just cliffside for like a few kilometers. We have no choice. There is no way to get up. The current's pushing us towards the cliffs, not towards the shore. So we're like, let's try find another way to get up. So then, by chance, we saw like this, not fishing line rope, but it's more a thicker rope, which was hanging attached to the cliff, and we thought that we could like hang on and not be pulled out by the current. But as soon as me and him pulled it together at the same time, it fucking ripped off from the cliff, and it was attached to like this big ass bush, and it was so depressing when it was coming down, and like
shit, bro.
It was really bad. Yeah, after that we were losing more hope, but luckily we found this cave. It was like a small opening, but inside it was like a huge cave, like let's say 15-20 meters high, but from the outside it looked pretty small, like the size of, I don't know, two stories. Yeah, that was like the hardest thing we had to get into, but we couldn't because of the currents, so we tried like, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes just trying to get in, because we're going in straight, right? And then the current's pushing us to the side, so we kind of have to go diagonally and then try like...
Kind of work with the current to get in. Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. It was really bad. Then once we managed to get into the cave, luckily we found like this platform that we could get up from. It was like, let's say, 1 story high. So no matter how rough the waves were, we weren't getting submerged at all. Maybe sometimes a sprinkle of water would like scare us, but yeah, he first climbed up and then I joined. But there was like, you know, the buoys from the sea?
Yeah.
There was one,
buoys, yeah.
Yeah, there was one buoy inside the cave, and my friend thought, because he went up first, right? Then my friend thought I was the buoy and I was like drowning, so he was like fucking up as well. And he kept on shouting like, Mark.
Shit.
And I was like kind of behind him. I was shouting because I was having difficulty to get up. Yeah. And then he thought I was the buoy, so he thought I was drowning. Yeah, and then once we both managed to get up onto this platform thing inside the cave, we chilled out for like, I don't know, like 2 hours, thinking about what the fuck just happened.
Was it really dark in the cave, right?
It was daytime, so we jumped at like 12 noon. Yeah, it was really fucked up.
But was it dark in the cave, or could you see a little bit?
We could see.
Okay, so it wasn't, but at night time it's obviously very dark.
At night time it was pretty fucking dark.
Yeah, and then, yeah, tell us the rest.
Yeah, so once we were both there, like chilling out for a bit, like resting a bit, since we fucking swam for like 1 hour against the current, we were thinking about like what the fuck we're gonna do. We were thinking, we're like, okay, like today might be a bad day, so let's wait for tomorrow. The sea would probably be like less rough, right? Wrong. Kept on going for like 3 days. even during the night. And during the night, I've seen like the worst waves in my fucking life. They were so big, man. But luckily, because of that platform thing, we were like kind of sheltered.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless.
And there was no food or water or anything.
No food or water for like 3 days. And that's where the thing comes in, where my friend had it more fucked up than me, because he had like a hoodie and he drank coffee.
So he was much more dehydrated.
He was so dehydrated.
And you can't drink the seawater.
No, but he drank his piss, which at the time, like, I didn't know if you drank seawater or piss that you would get more dehydrated, but he ended up doing it anyway. I didn't need to, because I drank like 2 liters of apple juice before I jumped in.
Yeah, piss is better than seawater, for sure.
I think so, yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, it was really disgusting looking at him like fucking drinking it. It was.
So you were really like an extreme survival mode. This is hardcore, dude.
Like after the first day went by, we're like, okay, I think they're gonna find us, right? Like we were all hopeful and shit. And then the next day we kept on saying like, okay, maybe they'll find us, right? But then days went by and we were kind of like getting more depressed and shit. So it wasn't really, I don't know.
Was there ever a point where you just felt absolutely hopeless, like this is the end, I'm gonna die?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was seeing my friend like super weak on like the second day. Like he was really weak. Like we couldn't even stand up straight. We were like dizzy and shit.
Yeah.
So like if we wanted to walk to the other side, like to move a bit, we couldn't. We were always like falling over and shit. And we were like hallucinating a bit because no food and fucking water, right?
Yeah.
And plus dehydrated. Like I was gulping up seawater, so it was pretty bad. We started seeing like faces in the walls, and like inside the cave it was like really loud, so we couldn't hear each other, and we kept on like looking at each other thinking like did you say something? But he actually didn't, like, and even vice versa, like throughout the day.
And it sounds absolutely nightmarish.
It was fucking nightmare. There was like I used fire flare thing inside the cave, so we were like maybe somebody was already here, like somebody died or some shit, I don't know. Yeah. What else?
How long were you guys in the cave?
3 nights.
3 nights.
Yeah.
And then what happened? How did you get rescued?
So as the days went by, we were thinking like we were making up plans and shit, like okay, like I know that one person knows where I am, like I told that person where I am. Yeah. And maybe that probably his father or my mother will like realize like that something's wrong after like the second day. I thought personally that nobody was gonna come look for us like after 2 days, because sometimes I go out for 2 days in the past and like don't tell my parents, so I thought it was like this normal thing. So yeah, I didn't think anyone was gonna come for us. And we saw like boats pass from time to time, but they were so far out, and he thought they were looking for us when I thought they weren't, but they actually were on the end. After they told us, they were actually looking for dead bodies and not for us, so that's why they were so far out. And sometimes we could hear helicopters but far away, like it was fucking horrible.
And then what happened? How did you get out?
Then on the last day, the waves got a tiny bit better, as in the current wasn't that bad. So I told him like, it's like fuck it, bro, just like let's fucking jump.
It's now or never.
It's now or fucking never. I think it was maybe 4 a.m. because it was still like before the sunrise, like way before, like you can still see the moon. And the only thing I can remember after that was just going in the water. It was fucking pitch black, like the water was pitch black, like it was scary as fuck. And I went on my back and just like swam as hard as I fucking could. Just
and somehow you still had energy to swim, man.
Yeah, bro, fucking adrenaline, man.
Yeah.
It was like literally now or never. Because if we stayed a few more days without food and water, we just wouldn't be able to fucking do shit, right? Yeah. So we, on the first day we got lost. We tried to get up from this cliffside, the crack in the rock that I told you about, and we managed to get up like almost, let's say, 1 story before we go onto like the ground. And then from there we saw this, there was this red thing in the distance, and we thought it was like a buoy as well, but it actually was a fisherman. So we started shouting, it's like, hey, come here and shit. And we were like cliffs apart, so we were still pretty far apart. And he said, there's no reception here, I'm gonna go back to call the police and then come to give you like food and shit. So, and by the way, the guy that found us, as in we shouted to him, when he came to give us like food and water, he broke his fucking finger. He like tripped over and like fractured it and shit. And then he gave us like water and like a sandwich. I didn't eat, obviously, because I fucking knew I was gonna be rescued. So like, what's the point? Like, I understand the good gesture, but I drank the water. We both drank the water, but the sandwich we left. Then there was a helicopter that came from above, and it was just recording us. It didn't like rescue us, and I was like, what the fuck, bro? And then another helicopter came, recording us, didn't do shit. And then the Navy came, and after the Navy came, because we used to do cliff jumping as young kids, so we could have like jumped and back in the water and swam to the boat, but they said like, stay there, we're gonna come up. Since our hands and feet were like full of cuts and bruises, they gave us like gloves and shit, so we can come back down, so it's less painful. And we ended up jumping back into the sea. We told them like, it's alright, it's chill. Then they put life vests on us, took us to the boat, and took us back to shore, and that's when it all ended.
And I'm sure after that you got a new appreciation for life like never before.
Fuck yeah, man. That's why I'm in Thailand.
You just have to live hardcore, eh? But not that hardcore again.
Yeah.
Not going to try anything like that anytime soon.
Maybe, but there should be people around.
Yeah,
like,
people must know where you're going.
They fucking have to know. Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
For sure.
Thanks for sharing your story.
Yeah. Like, it might not seem as intense as I'm telling it to you, because I'm not really good at explaining shit, but like...
I think you explained it really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like, in the moment, it was fucking bad and raw and just like uncut, like so real, it felt... It was...
Say it again. They've got no fucking idea what
you have no fucking idea, bro. No fucking idea. It was fucking bad. But I'm lucky to be alive today, and yeah, I'm gonna smash my goals one by one.
Smash your girls and smash your goals.
Smash my goals.
Your girls. Your girls and your goals.
My goals, bro.
Your girls and your goals. Okay, awesome, dude. Thanks for sharing your story.
No problem.
And I'm sure maybe it'll inspire some people out there to not take life for granted in any time.
Yeah. Be adventurous, but be fucking smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.